As you're driving to work tomorrow or driving home from work, I highly recommend a podcast, the Obi-Wan podcast. Nothing to do with Star Wars. It is Mikel's podcast. Yeah. Now, the reason I'm mentioning it right now is because of a little quote from your podcast about Cole Palmer. You know which one I'm going to say, but for the benefit of the two gentlemen here, he says, Chelsea fans, don't come at me, but we talk about Cole Palmer. I'm a huge fan. Yeah. I think everybody is a huge fan, but again, the big games, you need to show up. That, again, is my only question of Haaland. So far, Haaland hasn't done that for City. So far, Cole Palmer hasn't done it for us. Has he answered that question?
He's done it today. He's done it today. I think the quote was, I think people started comparing him to a certain guy that I played with, Frank Lampard, a guy who, you know, for me, listen, I love this guy. We all love Cole Palmer. He's a fantastic player. But Frank, you know, Frank is Frank. Frank came up with big goals in big games. You know, he was the guy, you know, I think he's still the top goal scorer for the club. But this man here, this young man here, I think he will, if he stays at the club for that long, of course, he's going to break all sorts of record. He's a fantastic player. And no, all credit to him. Like, I love him. He's a fantastic player. You can't watch him and say, you know, you can't say any bad word about him. Maybe he needs to practice more about his post-match press conference.
He doesn't care, I think.
He doesn't, no.
No, not at all.
But if he keeps producing those magic and scoring goals, you know, we don't care. We really don't care.
All right. Don't forget, the podcast is out now. It's on YouTube and everything, so you can go and check it out.
Thank you very much.
What about Nicholas Jackson and his performance here today? Because I remember I was at the game when Chelsea played Arsenal, and we talked a lot about Nicholas Jackson, but he didn't really have any moments. What about in this game? Because I know you have been critical of him in the past. He's turned it around. He's getting lots of goals. But do you think he's doing it enough in big games?
Well, listen, yeah, he does. I think sometimes even if you don't score as a striker and, you know, you can produce, you can provide assists and stuff like that, and his general play is good. But today you can see he wasn't really at the game. You know, he didn't start the game well. He couldn't just get himself into the game. So it's not one of his best performances, I'll say. But Nicholas has done really well this season, you know, after the whole situation with me. You know, he started scoring goals. His finishing got better. And that's what we want. We want him to score goals. He's our top striker. He's the main man. And if he becomes the main striker for the club, he needs to be scoring week in, week out, and most especially in big games. So, but today wasn't his day. I'm sure he will bounce back. I didn't think he didn't play against Southampton, did he?
He was rested.
He rested, and then today, of course, he didn't score. So, and he was very disappointed when he was substituted. I like to see that. I like to see a player leaving the pitch against substitute. You're disappointed. You want to be on the pitch. You want to score goals. And, you know, he needs to understand there's so many games to play, and I'm sure he will score lots of goals.
And who do you think is going to ultimately be the main striker for Chelsea? Is it Jackson or is Nkunku going?
I think it's Jackson. I think with the reward of the new contract as well that he's just signed, I think the club really believes in him. The manager believes in him. The hierarchy believes in him. You can see there, leaving the pitch. You know, it looked like he was crying.
Yeah, he looked emotional, didn't he?
He looks very emotional. You like to see that. I'm happy to see it. I want to see that. You know, you don't want to be happy leaving the pitch. He wants to score goals. He wants to help the team, and I'm happy to see him, you know, disappointed leaving the pitch.